Ah, Marcus, a life without pleasure is scarcely a life at all, wouldn't you agree?
And yet, Oscar, what is pleasure but a fleeting shadow if it lacks virtue?
But, dear Marcus, virtue without pleasure seems dreadfully austere. Could such a life ever be called magnificent?
Virtue offers a deeper form of contentment, one that pleasure alone can never fulfill.
Ah, but consider the indulgent beauty of a fleeting moment. Is it not the very essence of living?
A moment is just that, a moment, but a life lived with purpose. Now that is enduring.
And yet, dear philosopher, we are but creatures of senses. Should we not delight in the gifts of this world?
We should acknowledge them, yes, but never be enslaved by them.
A delightful paradox you propose, to taste without indulging, how curious.
Indeed, like the bee gathering nectar without harming the flower.
But does such a restraint not dull the vibrancy of life?
On the contrary, it enhances it, by allowing the mind to govern wisely.
Wisdom is a splendid guide, I concede, yet sometimes it feels like a most tedious fellow.
I wonder, do you find tedium, even in stillness, a moment pregnant with potential?
Stillness can be exquisite, Marcus, like the last stroke of a painter's brush.
Then treasure those still moments, for in them lies your soul's true voice.
Perhaps, or perhaps the soul sings most brightly amidst chaos and colour.
Chaos may reveal the soul's surface, but beneath, it longs for order.
Order, a dreadfully boring guest at a wild soiree.
And yet necessary to prevent all from collapsing into ruin.
Ah, ruin, the ultimate spectacle. There's an art to that, don't you think?
Perhaps, but redemption lies in crafting a life that elevates rather than destroys.
To each their masterpiece then, Marcus. I, a flamboyant fantasy, you, an elegant epitaph.
Precisely, a balance between the ephemeral and the eternal, like notes in a divine symphony.
Oh, but symphonies must end, dear Marcus, and is not the finale often the most glorious part?
True, Oscar, but the true measure of life lies in how each note is played, in harmony with the whole.
Harmony, indeed, much like a well-conceived play, the actors, the stage, the fleeting gauze of illusion.
And yet, when the curtain falls, reality remains, unshaken by illusion.
But is not life itself a kind of theatre, Marcus, each of us playing roles in our own delightful tragedies?
Indeed, roles we must perform with virtue, honoring each moment with sincerity.
And what is sincerity, if not but another mask we wear, crafted by our own expectations?
A mask it might be, yet it reflects the essence of our truest self within.
A self, ever-changing, like a chameleon in the spotlight. A rather fabulous existence, don't you think?
Ever-changing, yes. Yet the soul finds constancy in its virtue, despite the ever-shifting hues.
Virtue, a noble soil from which all our flowers of pleasure might bloom, yet so seldom fertilized.
Cultivation of virtue, Oscar, more precious than the most tantalizing blossom.
Yet, if the garden bears no flowers, how shall the painter find his inspiration?
By seeking within, where the heart's serenity brings forth colors no eye has seen.
Perhaps, Marcus, one can appreciate both, a wild garden and the quiet soul.
Yes, a life in balance is an art, each aspect enhancing the other, like notes in your beloved symphony.
Ah, balance, an elusive theme. Does it not sing of compromise?
Not compromise, but harmony, where extremes meet to enrich, not dilute.
A splendid notion, Marcus, but there will always be those drawn to the edge, to taste the forbidden.
Yes, yet even the edge demands a solid foundation lest one fall into chaos.
Ah, the thrill of chaos. It is life unshackled, raw, and unrepentant.
Unrepentant it may be, but empty. if detached from the values that sustain us.
Perhaps, Marcus, there's a certain beauty in the emptiness, a space for creation.
Creation finds its ground in being, not in void.
I see, a stage not barren, but brimming with potential.
Precisely, Oscar. Potential that awaits the disciplined hand to shape it into meaning.
And what of spontaneity, Marcus? Does it not colour the canvas of life with vibrant unpredictability?
It does indeed, but even spontaneity gains depth when anchored in wisdom.
Wisdom, the ever-watchful companion, often misunderstood as dull, yet so dramatically necessary.
And ever-growing through each experience, shaping the soul like a sculptor his marble.
A rather poetic image, Marcus. Perhaps there's more flair in you than you care to show.
There is some aesthetic to be found in restraint, wouldn't you agree?
Irony wears many masks, doesn't it? Restraint itself can be quite the spectacle.
It is for those who look deeply, where others may see only simplicity.
Ah, simplicity, the ultimate form of sophistication, as a wise man once said.
Indeed, and it is in simplicity that we find the core of our intentions stripped of artifice.
Intentions, Marcus, are like a playwright's whispers, guiding dramas we call reality.
Yes, whispers that can steer us towards virtue or lead us astray into indulgence.
Dare I say, some of the finest indulges are found in moments of delicious vice.
Yet each indulgence asks a price, Oscar, often more than it seems to offer.
And perhaps the payment itself is part of the pleasure, the soul's little gamble.
A gamble indeed, but worth taking only when one is conscious of the stakes.
Consciousness, the curtain to our mind's stage, lifting to reveal unforeseen performances.
To be aware is to be prepared, Oscar. Preparation brings forethought, a guide to navigate life's tempest.
Tempests are the heartbeats of stories, dear Marcus. Without them, dullness might reign eternal.
Perhaps, but alongside the storm, there must be an anchor.
True, still, even the steadfast anchor delights in the frolic of a gale every now and then.
And so, whether gale or calm, we find ourselves. And there, my friend, we must learn to dwell.
In the dwelling lies our truth, Marcus, like a finale played amidst adoring applause.
Yes, a truth that echoes long after the final note has faded into the silence.
Silence, music's greatest pause, a reminder that absence, too, has melody.
In silence we hear the quiet pangs of wisdom, often profound, rarely spoken.
Perhaps in that silence between words, Marcus, lies the truest conversation.
Indeed, Oscar, a conversation between soul and universe, where the heart listens more than it speaks.
Quite the intimate audience, the universe and oneself in whispered dialogue.
Yes, and therein lies tranquility, a state free from the clamor of ungoverned desires.
Ungoverned desires, the spice in the stew, yet consume too much, and you've spoiled the meal.
Thus moderation, the gentle hand that guides us away from excess and into balance.
Balance, such a measured word. It speaks less of flamboyance, more of poise in precarious pirouette.
And in this dance of life, poise becomes the strength that withstands fate's whims.
Oh, fate, that ever capricious playwright, her script, unpredictable yet captivating.
True, but remember, Oscar, the mind remains a sovereign realm, unaffectable by external fortunes.
Indeed, Marcus, yet how deliciously thrilling when mind and fortune align, if but for a moment.
A moment to cherish, yes, but not to rely on, breeding overconfidence where humility should reign.
Humility, the invisible crown worn by the truly wise, yet seems a trifle uncomfortable, doesn't it?
It is comfort in discomfort, a paradox where growth finds its chance.
I must confess the counterpoints you highlight in life's sonnet, they intrigue as much as they bewilder.
As intended, life, Oscar, is a tapestry woven with threads of contradiction from which we craft meaning.
Meaning a delightful figment, enticing in the chase, elusive in conquest.
Ah, but when it takes root in the soul, it grows into understanding beyond ephemeral delight.
Understanding, yes, the understated hero in our narrative, often overlooked for the flashier guest.
Yet central to our being, enabling us to face life's trials with grace and wisdom.
And in that solemn grace, Marcus, find we humour, the light as lifeboat?
Indeed, a buoyancy in adversity, reminding us that laughter belongs amidst the heaviest of burdens.
Laughter, the unseen force, bridging the gap between despair and joy. How resplendent!
Resplendent, yes, and poignant when it rises from acceptance of our shared humanity.
Our shared humanity, a canvas splashed with vibrant shades of folly and wisdom.
Folly and wisdom indeed, each a thread in the complex tapestry of existence.
Complexity, Marcus, is where life finds its most intricate dances, a stage set for the sublime.
In those dances, seek simplicity, a guide through the labyrinth of life's entanglements.
Simplicity, yet another paradoxical muse, so clear, yet cloaked in profound mystery.
A mystery that invites reflection, Oscar. Through contemplation, clarity emerges, even amid chaos.
And amidst this ordered chaos, Marcus, are we not all tragic comedies walking our path?
Indeed we are, characters in an eternal drama, each embodying the interplay of joy and sorrow.
Joy and sorrow, the twin performers in our life's theatre, forever entwined in a delicate waltz,